Hi, this is Lawrence Frontera, also known as a Punk with Toys on Instagram. Today, Sunday, we're going to be discussing the G.I. Joe Classified Snake Eyes and Timber Alpha Commando. Now, let me just start by saying thank you to FedEx for delivering on Sundays. Big shout out to Big Bad Toys. I received this today from my pile of loot, along with a bunch of Motu stuff that I've been waiting on. So, big shout out to them. Today we're going to discuss this figure. I'm going to compare them to the 00 figure that first came out. More or less just his gun, and you can kind of see the difference. And just go over the figure and Timber, who is honestly amazing. It's great they did it. Another quick shout out to Hasbro and to Target for another Viper. Third Viper I have. You can still order him. I believe he went back up on pre-order. Maybe he went out. But I know the Baroness, which hoping I will get this week, is back up as of now. Last time I checked earlier today, she was still up. So all these figures that we couldn't get forever, guys like me who were just out and about, we're actually able to find them. But some of you guys out there that haven't been able to get them, you're able to get them now. It may take a little bit of time, but hell, if you waited a year and a half to get it, who cares if you gotta wait another 30 days or whatever. So anyway, big shout out to Target and Hasbro for putting a few more of these Cobra Island Troopers up. And huge shout out to Big Bad Toys. Nope, they're not a sponsor. God knows I don't make any money for this, but this is a costly hobby. Kind of like my skateboarding, but anyway, this one doesn't hurt. Anyway, so let's take a quick look at the box here, and we will go with this, number 30. Once again, if you're a completist, this is killing us because everything is numbered, but perfectly fine with it because this box is obviously bigger. It seems thinner, but I don't think it's thinner when I compared it to the other ones. It's just so much wider. So there you have your shot of Snake Eyes. Another beautiful art piece, and on the side we have an angry Timber. And just, I don't know, maybe he's angry, maybe he's happy, maybe he's sad. Snake Eyes, we don't know. Unless we watch the movie, then we can see his face. Anyway, back. You know, this is nice because it's so much wider. We can see so many more of the figures, and it's the same thing that we've seen, just not condensed. From all the vehicles, I think some of the smaller vehicles we may get in classified form. I think some of these larger vehicles we may actually get in the retro line, which isn't the worst thing in the world. So anyway, there's the box. And here we have Commando Snake Eyes holding his classic Uzi that, unless if you got the deluxe edition, you were not going to get. Another rifle that does have a magazine that comes out. It has a spot for blast effects, which I know that Valiverse seems to be claiming. They're so happy that G.I. Joe is using it, and it is nice, and I have a feeling we're eventually going to see Hasbro doing their own blast effects. But hey, let's just all be happy that we got this. It's got a sidearm and silencer. We've seen this pistol before. I don't want to pull this out right now. And we have his tip that the muzzle will go on. And then he has a new knife. Boy, these things, got a lot going on here. So, the new knife that we have not seen before, along with a new sheath for it. This one fits in really nice. Again, he's a Commando, so quickly, real nice looking figure. Let's put him back over here. Of course, he's probably not going to stand up because I want him to. And how things go. Put him against the box here. He also has this machine gun. Again, removable magazine. These actually fit in really nice and seem to stay. They don't fall out. Same with the Viper. Unlike some of the other ones that I've dealt with, Valibur seems to come loose fairly easy. The other thing I like about these is they're soft. Unlike the Valibur ones, the ones that I bought, they're kind of brittle. Like the original figure, some of the original, like the original Baroness gun, they'll snap. So here we have Angry Timber. Plenty of articulation, really nice. Head moves. This one is Angry. And here's the one that comes in the box. More Content Timber. Angry, Content. So there we go. Let's take a quick look at this guy. I'm not even gonna say anymore whether or not you should decide to buy it. You should just go out and buy these. God, Hasbro, why don't you guys pay me? Because I'm doing your job for you. Or maybe just the figures are so awesome, you're doing it. Anyway, let's take a quick look at these guys. I'm going to show you a couple things on it, and you can make your own decision, but it's nice figure. Alright, so here we go. Quickly, let's look at the box again. Number 30 in the line. Nice looking artwork. Not that easy to see. Nice little glare, obviously. You can clearly see he has what is not really the original version 1 Snake Eyes, but what has more or less become when you look at the comics. Side, same thing. And you move up and you get Timber, little Angry Timber there. And then we have our box, which again I'll say it's nicer because it's wider, so you can see a little bit more of the figures. All right, so there's your box. Number 30. You know, he's not really a ninja anymore in this one. Or this is before we knew that he was a ninja. So let's take a quick look at our figures. Here is Snake Eyes. Again, nice looking figure. Have him holding 2 of his guns, including his trusty, well-known Uzi. And I did bring up this guy because if you don't have the deluxe edition 00, then you don't have an Uzi, and it is the same Uzi. It is a little bent. That's a little disappointing. This one came a little bent, but oh well, big deal. Clearly, when you look at the figures, you can see how different they are. All right. Completely new head sculpt. Snake Eyes here now has a new vest, molded vest. The knife, I do believe, is brand new. I haven't seen it, along with the sheath. New guns. That kind of reminds me of the Viper gun, but it is completely different. And right there, the guns, the Uzi, the pistol, the holster, and the silencer are the only things that are the same between the Snake Eyes and the name. So let's move him over to the side here. So the reason why I brought up Beachhead and Flint here is to show you this is what they've been doing with a lot of their figures. And so the upper body, the torso is the same, which this has now been done on a couple figures. And I think they do such a marvelous job because you can't tell. So you look here, you can see that it's the same upper body. All right, which honestly I'm perfectly fine with. The boots seem to be the same. The crotch area, the chest is the same. Completely different vests, which is nice. This is a completely new molded vest. It really reminds me of some of the figures that they've pumped out in the new lines for the 4-inch figures. So Here we have our flint, and they use the same boots. And if you look closely, you'll see that the pants are the same also, but the color pattern makes it so you can't even tell. Obviously, we have different holsters because both this holster and the beachhead holster have the Nerf gun, which hoping they've dropped the Nerf guns. What I did notice is that the shin guards seem to be a completely different mold. They are not anything like the ones that I can see. I wasn't able to get out to all my figures right now, but I do believe this is a completely new mold. Now, the thing that I don't like about the shin guards is that it actually messes with your ankle rockers. You can move your ankles down that way, but when you want to move them up more, they only go so far, and it really does cause an issue with impeding how you can move the foot, which is disappointing, to be honest. Some of these figures you definitely do need to get some bases, which those are actual Small Joes, it's called, or from Small Joes. So here's our figure. Again, new vest, looks really nice. I think I'm actually going to try and set him up to make him look like it's the issue 21 Silent Interlude, where he's coming down the mountain with the with the ropes. The new mask, I think the head sculpt is really nice looking. I am a version 2 over here. I'm a version 2 lover, that's mine, but I do like the way this looks. It really does remind me of other iterations of Snake Eyes Commando. Nice gun. So there we have our Snake Eyes. Now here we have our Timber. All right, Angry Timber. As you can see here, you set him up. He does have a lot of points of articulation, but he only moves so much. I haven't had a chance to display him anywhere yet, so it's going to be kind of messing around, but his hind legs seem to go out a little bit further, which is nice, but his front legs only go out so far. It does move enough to, I think, get him in some pretty good positions. His head moves. Obviously, his head comes off to put on Content Timber face. I'll be honest, popping it off was fairly easy. Popping it off was easy. You know, the nice little pop. But it did actually worry me putting it back on because it's sitting just on this neck right here, and when you push, it kind of moves around. So I decided I'm going to go with Angry Timber because I really don't want to snap that. His body does move back and forth, so you can kind of give him some better positions. Tail moves, but I think once you get him in a nice either angry position or a content position, depending on how you want to go, you'll be happy with how he looks. Details real nice. You know, he's got a scar across his face. If you remember, I believe he was being attacked by a bear when he was found. So you also have his scars on the content face also. I didn't actually notice this when they were doing the designs of him, or when they were showing him off. But I actually really like this face, but I have a display because he will actually go with that Snake Eyes, because that's how I always think of him, even though he was not introduced with Snake Eyes with the visor. He was actually introduced with Commando Snake Eyes. So there's a quick look at our figure, the box, and Timber. Kind of the comparisons. Oh, here, let's take a look at the knife here. This knife is bigger. Clearly, this is more of a survivalist knife. or a Crocodile Dundee knife. But they did make sure that it is made so it is going to go in all the way, unlike the other version of Snake Eyes. Not this one, because his knife goes all the way in the sheath. But the other Snake Eyes, the one that you can get at stores, it doesn't go, and that was actually one of the changes they made with the repaint. So, let's quickly, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to tell you to go out, find this, go on Big Bad Toys, anywhere, and order it. Alright there, so you have it. That's Snake Eyes Commando with timber. Let me say something else really quickly. I know there's been a complaint over some of the figures about having rehashes of figures. And I do understand the complaint, but let me explain something to you. When it comes to classified figures, this is only the 4th version of Snake Eyes. And I want to clarify a few things up. One, this is the 1st version, all right? And he was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, I believe. So not a lot of people had them. So if they would have just released this one and didn't give you the one that's available in the stores, people would have complained about it. So they gave you a repaint, all black, Nerf guns, we get it. Then they did a repaint of them. That is not another figure. Let's get that straight. That's a repaint. Repaints get done all the time. Now, if you're a person that has to have every version, every paint, then I guess you call that a 2nd one or a 3rd one, but it's not. That's still the 2nd one. But in actuality, the only one that you had for the longest that you could get easily was that 02, I think he was, or 03, I forget what number he was. Then they came out with the movie Snake Eyes. Except for everyone hates the movie. So if that would have been one of the figures that you got, people would complain about it. Then they gave you this one. Now, there wasn't as much complaint because it is a different version of him. Alright? So this is really your 4th. But in actuality, this is only your 2nd TV one. I mean, cartoon comic one that people actually want. And then the other one that's coming out is the Fortnite one, which is another repaint of this. But I want people to understand this. The Fortnite one is not part of classified. It's just a classified figure. So you can't count him. So in actuality, there are 3 Snake Eyes. Alright? There are more, but there are actually only 3. You have the exclusive that people would have complained that they couldn't get him. Alright? A few people were lucky, you know, more than a few. I was able to get them, so people could have gotten them. Your basic figure. The repaint, that's the same figure. You have your movie figure that people didn't like because they don't like seeing his face, and people are bashing the movie without even seeing it. And now you have Commando. Anyway, I just have to get that off my chest. Again, sometimes I'll rant because why not? Anyway, here's your Snake Eyes. Love the fact that they gave him 4 different guns. You know, obviously the one's the pistol. You have his Uzi, which almost everyone's going to keep the Uzi. And then you have 2 new weapons. So if you want to start changing out weapons with figures that have Nerf guns, like Beachhead. No, Beachhead here has a Valiverse weapon, which actually looks pretty good on him. But hey, let's say you don't want to spend extra money. You're already spending enough on figures. Well, now you're going to have 3 different weapons that you can use with different figures. And maybe you want to give the Uzi to your other Snake Eyes, and you want to use this on this Snake Eyes. Either way, you have 3 different weapons to add to get rid of the Nerf guns. Because eventually, I like to have all the Nerf guns gone. Matter of fact, I think I have most of the Nerf guns gone. Then you have Timber, Angry Timber. I do really like Timber. I bought this little Timber. I bought this little wolf. Wow, I didn't realize how small it was till this guy came. And here's his other head. So anyway, there you go. If you're a classified collector, you're gonna want this. I mean, you almost have to because it has 30 on it. But all in all, it's just wonderful. It's just a wonderful figure. you know, I don't want to be like everyone else, but there's something about plastics. Just beautiful plastic. All right, I think I got that from Foosh. That guy just says plastic, 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 and honestly, he has it nailed. But if you just like figures, a good-looking figure, you like 6-inch figures, this is the guy for you. No more Nerf weapons, real weapons. I think people want to see that. People like seeing version 1 Snake Eyes. I'll be honest, at this point, I don't need to see any more Snake Eyes because they've done enough. I know I kind of went on a rant that there aren't as many as people think there are in the classified line, but they've done enough. Just like they've done enough with the Roblox, they've given us the ones that we actually want. Mezco, I'm sure one's coming, and that's cool because that's a different line than classified. But this figure here, I went off on a tangent. Go figure. Go pick him up. I think he's going to be available everywhere. But he is going to be available everywhere, but I think you're going to be able to find him everywhere. I want to say, but he was $36, or was he? It might have been $43. The Zartan is $36, which just seems to be an odd number, an odd price. But anyway, you know, I'm ranting. You've seen the video. You've seen the figure. You know, hey, if there's anything that you guys like or don't like, please throw it down in the comments. I like to get better at doing these reviews, see what you guys like, what you want to hear. That was my dog. If anyone heard the grunt, wasn't me. But anyway, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Follow the channel. I think I'm up to like 235 or 225 followers. Wow, I'm like so popular. But anyway, give me a like. Follow me on Instagram, A Punk with Toys. And I hope you all have a wonderful night.